Hey everyone, it's CurlyHairedHero, and welcome back to Yu-Gi-Oh! The Eternal Duelist Soul. Last episode, we took on Shoddy in a very long, 20-minute long duel that took me about 3 times to actually go through with, and hopefully I actually went through with this time, since whenever I tried to edit his episode, the recording would have some sort of weird issue. Now, today we're going to take on Ishizu Ishtar. The reason why we have one loss is because when I was editing Marik's episode, I was already here trying to take on Ishizu, and I had lost to her. But when I was about to start the next episode, I noticed that this episode was corrupted, which is when I also had to redo this episode. So now, we're finally all caught up. Do you still have the will to continue? This is how the battle of 3,000 years fueled its eternal cycle. Ishizu is the daughter, is the sister of Marik Ishtar. And she's also wielder of the Millennium Necklace, which, if I remember correctly, I believe it allows you to tell the future. I don't exactly remember the lore of the Millennium items all that well, since I never really cared too much about them. This does not... Alright, I wasn't sure if it was going to decrease my own attacks, because if you haven't noticed, I'm using a Fiend type deck. Because if you know anything about Ishizu, you'll know that she uses a Fairy type deck, which is why, as you can see, she already has Luminous Spark to power up all her monsters, as well as that guy, Hoshi Engine, which gives a boost to all light monsters on her side of the field, or I think all monsters on the field in general, but it also reduces the attack and defense of all dark monsters. Alright, so she has the Neo the Magic Swordsman. I don't believe I want to activate Kuribo. I'm pretty sure she has not exactly the greatest fairy deck, because there's not exactly too many great fairies in this game for her to use. Specifically, there's not the ones that she's well known for, which are kind of, I don't know if they count as I know they're definitely not an archetype, but I think they're sort of a type of fairy, because we had, when Yuga first started out, we had these cutesy fairies here that Teo uses, which are, those little balls with like wings and stuff. But then Ishizu came and she had her own fairies, which were sort of these like ancient millennium looking guys. What the hell just happened? Oh, he used his or hers. Alright. I'm a little confused here. Hold on a minute. Oh, I can't see. That's one of the main issues with this game, is that when a chain resolves or is about to resolve, you can only look at your monsters, or sorry, your backfield. You can't really look at anything else. But she's used some sort of field spell. The only problem is I don't know what it is. Oh, Luminous Spark. For whatever reason, the background stayed the same. It kind of glitched it. I guess because of the chain. But she's gone ahead and equip my Summon Skull with a freaking Axe of Despair. So that's going to go ahead and help us out quite a lot. I'm going to go ahead and summon her own Neo the Magic Swordsman, because he's going to have a hell of a lot of attack after the boost. I can also sacrifice it to summon another Summoned Skull, but its attack points won't really be too much higher, so I guess it won't really matter. So instead I'll sacrifice my Man-Eating Treasure Chest, I believe, yes. I decided to add that card primarily because I used to use it a lot when I first started doing this series. As I wouldn't say it was like my namesake. Oh, I just noticed that thing reduces. Oh no, it's only Hoshi, okay. Because I saw that when it attacked, it had less attack. But that's only because of the monster's effect. I started using Man-Eating Treasure Chest a lot in the beginning when I started dueling, because it was really hard for me to find cards in general that were relatively good. So when I came up with monsters that had at least 1500 attack, I pretty much went ahead and put them in my deck. And I remember I think I had a couple of man-eating treasure chests. So I figured as a throwback to that, I'd add it in. Let us embark on battle. Or is that the same thing? No. Let us embark on the battle by the pharaohs 300 years ago. What? Let us embark on the battle begun by the pharaoh 300 years ago. What are you talking about? I'm just dueling you. There's nothing. Oh, whatever. Ishizu trying to turn this duel all serious and shit, but it's just me dueling her out of the blue for a YouTube video. Jesus. Alright. I decided to add this card because it's really interesting, but I'm probably ever going to use it because it's extremely difficult to use. As you can see, it loses attack and defense by 400 for every card in my hand. So, in essence, it's pretty useless. I'm just gonna go ahead and play it in defensive. Maybe by some miracle she won't. Bingo. She won't do anything, which would allow me to go ahead and swap out my monster for a stronger one. I could use Dark Hole. Ah, fuck it. I could have summoned, yeah, great. I'm glad I did that. I could have summoned Summon Skull and attacked her monster, but I figured it'd be better off if I just used Dark Hole. Because there's a good chance that she might have Mirror Force face down, so I'd rather do a little bit less, or not even less damage, because I wouldn't have done any damage that turn. I just put myself in a slightly worse position, but at the same time I keep my Summon Skull, which is a lot better. Which, if you haven't noticed already, is the strongest card in my deck. Alright, that's good. I have this. So our attacks are tied. Because I have Axe of Despair, which I really don't want to use because of that. And I was hoping to save it for my Summon Skull. But I guess that's fine. I'm just going to have to go ahead and end my turn because there's no point in trying to attack her Dark Wish. Damn it. I said Dark Wish. Her Dark Witch. I need to straighten up so I don't sound like such a fool. I'm in a bit of a bind here. I was hoping to, follow the theme that I had when I was facing against Shoddy, where I'd use sort of the opposite deck of whatever the person uses. But that one card kind of ruins everything. Because it reduces the attack of all my monsters by 400. I don't want to use Call of the Haunted. And it powers up her monsters a lot. So there's a 900 point deficit between our monsters at all times, which is really annoying. Alright, I managed to at least bring back Duelist. And I can at least now use Call of the Haunted to bring back my Lajin, I guess. It's the only monster I can think of. That would actually be useful because all my other monsters would be weakened by her damn fucking thingamajiggy. I'm just gonna go ahead and have to bring out my ace monster now. Hopefully, she doesn't activate Mirror Force or anything like that now. Or else I'll be screwed. Alright, great. So now that I've destroyed Hoshi Engine, that's actually her second one, or was that from the previous duel? I think that was from the previous duel. Yeah. But now that it's gone, it's actually been removed from play, so I won't have to see that particular one on the field again. But she could easily have another one, or she could just have Luminous Spark. Axe of Despair? What is wrong with you, woman? Oh, you have two of them. Jesus Christ. Yeah, you could have easily equipped all of that freaking Duelist and probably more or less won the duel. I'm not going to discard Karibo. Might have to actually use Karibo in defense mode this turn because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to survive against this great, massive, this guy. Sucks. I don't really have anything that I can do. I'm just gonna have to end my turn. I mean, I was gonna attack Dumas, but to be honest, it doesn't really matter. No, she went ahead and killed me. Yeah, because I thought that I had, I'll use Karibo just to see if I can last one more turn. I thought I had the same attack as it, but then I remembered Luminous Spark was on the field. Alright, so I can summon my Whip Tilt Crow and equip it with Axe of Despair of my own, and I'll have actually 50 more attack than her super powered up Banisher of the Light. Hopefully I can manage to kill it. Alright, good. Because I'm still kind of worried about that face down card, but I'm guessing it's probably 7 tools at this point. Oh, that sucks. I was half hoping that she would sacrifice her monster and bring back Axe of Despair, but that didn't work out. Yeah, she brings out the Harpy's Feathers Duster. No way in hell am I gonna bring that back. Just gonna go ahead and destroy my Whiptail Crow. Put us right back into the bind. Alright. Pot of Greed. How convenient that we draw Pot of Greed now. Wow. I can't believe that just happened. That was a real classic. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. You should. It's a pretty good series. But they have a real bad habit of every single time that anyone who, even if they're going to lose a duel, if they're about to lose or not when they're about to lose a duel, when they're about to make a big play, before that turn, at the start of that turn, they always activate Pot of Greed and draw 2 cards. No matter what, that will always happen. Every time. And it's just ridiculous how many times that happens. Like, without a doubt, every time they'll go ahead and activate Pot of Greed, draw 2 cards, and create some crazy combo. Which is pretty much what I just did now, which is why it's so funny. It's a bit of a interesting situation. I'm technically ahead. Nope, not anymore. Because I had the stronger monster, but he was gaining life points, so it was kind of back and forth. I would have won if he hadn't gained 2,000 life points, but I'm gonna go ahead and lose to Ishizu and drop my phone in the process. It appears I was mistaken. I thought you had a great power inside. It was very disappointing to discover. Fuck you, Ishizu. Talking mad shit. Alright, let's go ahead and take her on one last time. Hopefully this time I can beat her pretty easily. I mean, that 1 star, Hoshi Engine is really putting me down because there's not really too much I can do to get around it. Since she can easily boost it up to 1500 and decrease my monsters by 400. I guess I'll start off early with Login. I think the one flaw in this deck is I don't have enough spell and trap cards, maybe. Or at least enough useful ones. I have a lot of like Axe of Despairs and stuff like that. Mahavalo. Mahavalo is a really funny card. For 2 reasons. But mainly because it's probably one of the earliest, I guess, not OTKs, what's the word? Combos. It's one of the earliest combos that existed in the game. And then you would equip it with a spell card and it would gain an extra 500. So, it's not really that useful of a combo. I mean, I guess if you equip it with like Axe of Despair, he'll get a solid 3,000. Yeah, he'll have a solid 3,500 attack, which is pretty good. And it's not exactly that great of a combo when you think about it. Like, it's a combo, but it's not really like a game-winning combo or something like that. But it's one of the main times that the game started to get a little more, I guess, how do I say this? Because originally, the game was a lot more simpler. You could do like simple like 1-card combos, but nothing really that you could base an entire deck around. So everybody would kind of just use the best cards that they could find, or the best cards that they liked. But, you know, stuff like Mahavalo were combos that you could do that were kind of open-ended, which is kind of what the game is like now, with a lot of cards that you don't need like specific cards to do with. Well, I mean, you kind of do with archetypes and stuff, but basically what I'm trying to say is, for example, to do a combo in this stage of the game, you'd need like, I don't know, to Shadow Ghoul and equip it with Magical Labyrinth, or is it? No. You need the Labyrinth and equip it with Magical Labyrinth to summon like the Shadow Goblin thing. Like really concrete combos that are written on the card. While Mahavalo and stuff like that was a more of a, you know, creative combo, which asked a little bit more from the player. You know, oh, this guy, you know, gains attack from equip cards. Let me put a bunch of equip cards. Maybe cards that get me equip cards easier. You know, stuff like that. I mean, hopefully I got my point across. But we managed to easily defeat Ishizu while I was trying to rant on it. describe my point. You have already obtained great powers, and those around you are wonderful supporters. Oh, well, I guess she's talking about you guys. Oh, isn't that nice? Alright, let's go ahead and take this pack. Nothing too great. But that's gonna do it for this episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! The Eternal Duelist. So I hope you guys had a great time, and I'll see you next time.